Welcome back to the Wilson Brothers channel. I'm David. This is Isaac. We got the Viking over here in all of his glory. We are reacting today to a video of a man talking about how he's a 33-year-old virgin. Is it something to be valued? Should virginity be valued?
Chastity, man.
Chastity. Do women want someone that's a virgin, or do they want someone that's more experienced?
Is it too early in the date to ask what your deal is?
Things could get spicy. Things could get very spicy.
That's an interesting one.
Y'all ready for this?
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Are you a virgin?
Yes.
At 33?
I am, yes. Unfortunately, I'm not married at 33, and I have committed myself to abstaining until marriage,
So why is it that you chose to wait until marriage, especially as a man in modern day?
Honestly, it was a decision that I made when I was really young. This might sound a little crazy, but when I was really young and I had crushes on other girls, and they may have had a crush on me, and then maybe they developed a crush on somebody else, I was like, oh, well, is she really mine? And now that she's had, a relationship with somebody else, or a crush on somebody else, or she kissed somebody else, and I thought there's got to be some level of physical intimacy that is supposed to be just between me and my eternal partner. And then later in life, we learned about sex education. I remember thinking that right then, when I first learned what sex was, I was like, this is it. This is what a man and woman who are committed to each other in marriage.
Wow.
There's so much to unpack there. I really honestly respect him for it.
You earn my respect.
I mean, that's a unicorn. How many men do you know that are 33 and are still a virgin?
And a virgin by choice.
By choice. And he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, because there's a difference between being a virgin by choice and just not.
I mean, there are a lot of men that are virgins because they can't get any, but this guy obviously could grab it whenever he wants.
Well. Who is this cutie patootie?
He looks to be in shape. He has a good, grooming about him. Just from one man to another's perspective, he's the type of guy that probably a lot of women would want.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like the bar scene's really that difficult. If
we
you just look
all the time.
like you've got your stuff together, you're going to get way more attention than most of the bums that go to the bar.
Yeah, the way that he explained as well, the way he explained marriage was really interesting about eternal partnership. And he made his decision when he was younger. A lot of men who are virgins until their late 20s, early 30s do make a choice when they're younger, whether it's through spiritual influences, relational influences, to choose to have chastity. And I don't think it's valued in society for men to be virgins as much as it is for women.
Correct.
Right? Because a woman's virginity and the chastity, because it's so much easier for women to get men,
It's true.
is valued a lot higher than a man deciding to wait. But should it?
Well, I personally believe that not just through science, because there is studies that are paid to go back and forth on the benefits of semen retention, but I would argue it is so difficult to discipline your sexual urges as a man because we have them more than we do the urge for food on a daily basis, right? Those urges are so ingrained to be top priority that if you can learn to discipline that level of discipline is so easy to utilize in every other aspect of life because everything else is easier than our own sex drive. So there is that aspect of it. There is the other aspect that from a standards point of view, like men who are ultra promiscuous really don't have much standards other than just be pretty and just be nice, which, I mean, men by and large, that does go a long way. Just be pretty and just be nice. But the standard of being a virgin means that man is going to demand virginity from a woman.
Yeah, I mean, he said that even when a girl was interested in him, and then if she showed interest in another guy, she's like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
he immediately
done.
was like, nah.
It wasn't that he thought, I'm going to fight for her and prove that I'm the best man.
Yeah.
No, it was, I want somebody that we're going to have this eternal partnership with, intimacy, that wants me for me, that then in return he's going to want her for her. So he's viewing a relationship and sex as such a beautiful union that is eternal, that's something that goes beyond just the here and now. He doesn't view sex as just sex.
Yeah, let me give you an analogy. Think about a very, very expensive bottle of whiskey. why in wine, whiskey, any type of very fine experience is the better the quality of the whiskey, the less they brew. So there's less amount of them. So if I own one of the best bottles of wine in the world or one of the best bottles of whiskey, there's only a certain amount that the vineyard created. And there was actually a story I want to tell you guys about friends of mine that went to a vineyard in California. They went to 2 different vineyards. One vineyard, there was abundance of grapes everywhere. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. They tasted the wine. They're like, this is pretty good. I enjoy this. The next vineyard, there was like 1/10 of the amount of grapes on these vines. And they were right next to each other, the vineyards. So they're like, well, obviously there was no issue with weather because they're in the same geographical location. So they asked the master of the vineyard, why are the vines not producing as much grapes in this one versus the other one? He said, we did that intentionally. We pruned the vines so intentionally that all of the life of that vine goes into those grapes that are less than the big ones, so that the value and the richness of the grape was 10 times better than the grapes in abundance. So those things, so they were able to sell that wine for 20 to 30 times. They were able to sell that wine at 20 to 30 times the value of the other vineyard because they chipped away at the grapes that were taking life away from what really matters.
So are you saying that being a virgin in today is more valuable because there's less virgins?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if everyone was, if 80% of people in the world were virgins, then virginity wouldn't be as valued?
I don't think it's that. I think it's that it's not because if everybody were virgins. I think if 80% of the population were virgins before they got married or before they found their partner that they wanted to marry, our society would be way less screwed up.
Oh, 100%. There'd be more commitment, less divorce.
Sexual promiscuity in the 70s and 80s, the sexual revolution was a major contribution of breaking up the nuclear family.
Yeah.
Breaking up and even dating culture with swipe culture. If I don't like my partner that I'm with right now, I can just download an app and swipe until I find somebody that looks better than her.
Why do virgins today get made fun of? If you're a virgin, if you're a guy around a bunch of other jocks or whatever, if you're a virgin, they just laugh at you. Often they're probably thinking it's because you didn't choose to be one.
And why do people
get made fun of?
But a lot of promiscuous women don't want to be with a virgin. That's the weird part. They respect
I've seen those.
They respect it, but they're like, I don't want to take your virginity. But they also and I'm like, so you would rather be with a guy that's been with 100 women than with a guy that saved himself? It's because they see it as a gift that they don't want to take.
No, you know the reason why is because they want a guy that knows how to please them, and they feel like that a guy that has been with a lot of partners is going to be better at it. So they're not as much willing to go on that journey of learning and getting better because it does get better over time. Yeah, they want it to be where if they have a one night stand, it's like the greatest ever. So they're not wanting to commit to that relationship and growing in that way.
What do you think, Viking?
I mean, by and large, like the reason virgins get made fun of is because it's so counterculture to be virgin anymore.
It is.
We live in a society where sex is absolutely everywhere. It's used to sell things.
It's a business.
It's encouraged. Yeah, it's a business for sex to sell. So, you know, it's not. I would say as honorable to be a virgin anymore, but I'm telling you that it is. Because ultimately, this guy remaining a virgin by discipline has ultimately, in a way, kind of red-pilled his standards for what he expects in a woman. Like, that has shaped his mindset to be something that it's supposed to be.
I have a very powerful statement, kind of going off of what you said.
What is your powerful statement?
My powerful statement today is this. Someone once told me, someone I respect, said that by choosing to say no to all those women, as a man, choosing to say no to all those women out there when you have the option to not, meaning if you're single, 30 years old, 20 years old, whatever it may be, by choosing not to sleep around, that means that when you get married, saying no is going to be so easy, and it's going to give your wife so much confidence that because you said
Security,
no,
too.
so much security that you chose to say no to all those other women when you have the opportunity at any time to get laid. So your chance of getting divorced is going to be much lower, and your spouse, your wife, is going to feel so much more confident in who you are and that you're committed to them because you chose to be committed to them from the beginning, that you chose to wait for them, to wait for that amazing sexual connection that you're going to have when you get married. So if you're a virgin out there, don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, don't be ashamed of it.
It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not.
Two people that get married as virgins, it's one. I believe it's 60 to 70% less likely to get divorced, as you were talking about, than two people that got together that were promiscuous. Because men naturally, I can't speak for women, but men naturally compare themselves, or women compare their men to other people, or men compare their spouse to other people.
100%.
Your past relationships, your past lays that you had, that the wild, beautiful sexual tension that you used to have with your other partners. Just the wild nights that you would just go out, get hammered, sleep with them, wake up the next day, forget their name, and then go about your business. Naturally, in the back of your brain, you're going to compare your spouse that you get married to those people. That's just a natural part of how men think. We're like, well, she doesn't have the same boobs as the one I used to be with. She didn't have the same butt. She didn't have the same, she didn't have the same style. And so for a lot of men, that is so dysfunctional for how our brains work, even dopaminergically. Our dopamine will not fire as quickly with a spouse if we've been promiscuous with hundreds of women, because we're constantly in our heads. Women are more in their heads than men in the bedroom, right? So for me, I want to set a standard in my life that men can follow, right? Where you don't, just because you go out and get a woman and take her back to your bed and have sex with her doesn't make you a man, by the way. That has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I could go out and grab someone tonight if I wanted to. Doesn't make me a man.
Yeah, it's wild because it really is such a simple fix to fix the dating marketplace, is for men to just be like, you know what? I'm not messing with any other girl other than a girl that meets X standard. Mm-hmm. If enough men started doing that, like, the women would naturally start following to try and meet that standard, because they wouldn't get it.
But
if
you're a man that wants her to meet that standard, you have to be willing to meet that standard too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's an equal union of ideals, thoughts, imagination, also spirituality. You have to find somebody that fits the ideals that you set yourself your standard to. If you don't do that, then you're a hypocrite.
If you're a man that's lived that life where you've slept around with a lot of different women, it's okay now to change course. You don't have to feel that, oh, well, I just always live this way. It is time for a change. It's time for you to stop living that way and want to find someone of value and make yourself a man of value. And we believe that by making yourself a man of value, it's also saving yourself for that one person. We truly believe that. So start to live a life of self-control. Start to live a life of self-control. And when you get married, your chance of staying married will shoot through the roof because you hold back even if you want to keep on going.
Changing course doesn't mean to go look at porn.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Just because you stop sleeping with a bunch of women doesn't mean, oh, I'm just going to go on the internet now and look at porn or, jack off all the time. That's not what we're saying. You have to funnel that energy into things that actually matter, build value, and help your brain to become the way that it was meant to be. And you talk about that.
I just want to point out, like, if you completely remove women from the scenario and just think of the math of it for a second. If you're constantly out there chasing women, let's say you're spending 3 hours a night on Friday and Saturday nights to go out there and chase women and try to bring them home every single weekend. You are roughly spending like 1,248 or 50 hours a year trying to get women, spending money, spending energy, trying to get women. If you actually enacted the discipline to say, screw that crap, I'm going to divert that energy into the gym. I'm going to divert it into trying to start businesses. That's what me and Isaac are doing now. We're starting up a business. And it's been a rough couple days, but like,
welcome to being an entrepreneur.
Welcome to like not chasing women.
Yep.
If you divert that energy into doing those things, the women will just naturally want to be a part of your life. You don't got to go chasing them.
If you build something of value, a business with friends of yours, brothers in your life, that women will be able to tell immediately, because your countenance will change, the way you talk, because you have to continuously self-improve to be competitive in a business environment. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want to be competitive with men, they're not at the bar. Think about the men that aren't at the bar. They're at home learning a new skill. They're taking a master class on marketing and business. Or while you're at the bar getting drunk, trying to get inside a girl's
Or while you're
pants.
out there getting drunk, they're in the gym getting bigger than you.
See, with you by my side, Gina, ain't nothing stopping me from winning that Man of the Decade award.
How does that make you feel, man?
How does that make you feel? If you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams, baby.
Absolutely.
That's a
If
good
you
movie.
build it.
That's a good movie.
If you build a body,
I watched
they
it
will come.
I watched it the other day. It's so
I'm
overrated.
telling you for a fact, if you build yourself a body, they will come.
So we appreciate you guys watching this video. If you want to see a woman's perspective on sex, right here you can see the Candace Owens video we did, the reaction video on the Whatever podcast. So don't forget to subscribe. We come out with videos Monday through Friday, and we don't want you to miss a thing.
And we love sex, just in the right time.
Peace.